3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Mission Control for another feature-focused video. In this video, we're going to talk about Mask FX. Mask FX provides a quick way to stop running shapes and effects. New for version 14, a Mask FX soft key has been added to the Shapes and Effects menu. Selecting this will open the Mask FX menu. If no fixtures are selected, the actions in this menu will apply to all fixtures. Otherwise, they will apply to the selected fixtures only. The Mask FX menu. Create Mask FX will place a mask shape for all attributes and a mask effect in the programmer, similar to block all shapes and block effect in previous versions. Create mask shape will place a mask shape for all attributes in the programmer, similar to block all shapes in previous versions. Create mask pixel map will place a mask effect in the programmer, similar to block effect in previous versions. While in this menu, the attribute bank buttons will flash. Pressing an attribute bank button will place a mask shape for the selected attribute group in the programmer, similar to block P shape in previous versions, or color shape, whichever you choose. Clear mask effects from programmer will remove any mask shapes and effects from the programmer, so if you have things other than just the mask effects in the programmer, you can just remove it and not other items. If the mask is recorded in a queue or memory, it will stop any running shapes and effects for the associated fixtures while it is active. Mask shapes replace block shapes in previous versions of the software, however, they are more powerful. They mask all shapes running on any attribute within an attribute group, including keyframe shapes. Old block shapes would not affect any attributes that were not explicitly defined in the block shape itself. They mask shapes running on both the target fixture and any subfixtures it may have. Previously, 2 block shapes, one for the fixture and one for the subfixtures, would have been needed to achieve this. The old block shapes are no longer listed in the list of available shapes for an attribute. Note that the personality library must be updated for this feature to work. Also note that shows containing block shapes from previous versions will load and work as expected, but the block shapes will now be named mask. FX in this context refers to all types of effect, i.e. shape, keyframe shape, and pixel map. So let's take a look at that. Here, I've got version 14 of Titan on the Titan Go interface, and I've got a few playbacks down here with, say, a keyframe shape, a pixel map, some color shapes, and some movement shapes, as well as a couple of other playbacks. So if we were to go to Shapes and Effects, and then Mask FX, we see here our different soft keys. We've got the Create Mask FX, Create Mask Shape, Create Mask for Pixel Map, or Clear Mask FX from the programmer. So we'll go ahead and bring up our full version of Capture also, so we can see everything we got going on here. If I was to fire, say, one of the playbacks down here, and then I was to go ahead and click Create Mask FX, we can see that it stops my circle shape from running, and I can either clear that since I had it in the programmer. Say if I had 2 shapes running, this color and this, let's say I wanted just the color one to stop, I could go ahead and go into Shapes and Effects, Mask FX, and then choose color. We can see that the color shape stops running, but the position shape continues to run. If we were to then go ahead and go back into Shapes and Effects, Mask FX, and then Clear Mask from Programmer, see that it removes that mask from the programmer and our colors start running once again. If I had a pixel map running, and I say I wanted it to stop that, I could again, Shapes and Effects, Mask FX. I can either choose to Create Mask FX or specifically just for the pixel mapper, choose this one, and you see that it stops my pixel map from running. Again, if we clear that, it goes back to running again. If I had a keyframe shape running, such as here, I can in Shapes and Effects, Mask FX, and then Create Mask Shape, and we can see that my keyframe shape stops running. If we were to remove it, I see that our keyframe shape goes back to running. Mask FX can be recorded to a playback and even merged into existing playbacks. So to show that, let's go ahead and open up our workspace here for our playbacks. And we'll go ahead and create a Mask FX. So we'll go ahead and go to Shapes and Effects, Mask FX, and then Create. And we'll go ahead and record. Check our channel, our record mode to channel, since we only want to record the Mask FX in it. And we'll select playback here. And then we'll hit clear. So if we had this playback and this playback running, if we were to fire our Mask FX, we can see that the pixel map now stops running. Or if we had, say, this one running also, same thing. we see that it stops those shapes from running. We can, of course, do this with just a pixel map effect. So if we were to go ahead and go to our Shapes and Effects, and then Mask FX, and then Mask Pixel Map Effect, and we go ahead and record it again in channel mode to here. Now if we had, I'll say this one, and this one running, and we were to fire this here, we see our pixel map effect stops, but none of our other playbacks do. We turn our pixel map back on, and it continues to run. Again, you can also record a Mask FX for just specific attributes. So if we say we had one that wanted to just block color shapes, we could go ahead and do Shapes and Effects, Mask FX, and then go ahead and press our color attribute. And then we'll go ahead and record that here and hit clear. So now if we have this running and this running, we'll see that if we fire our Mask FX here, it stops the color shape from running, but lets our pan and tilt shape continue to run. And we turn it back off and our color restores. You can also merge a Mask FX into a already existing playback. So say that when we have this playback running, we want all movement shapes to stop. So we can go ahead and do Shapes and Effects, Mask FX, and we'll choose Position. And then we'll go ahead and record to here, Merge, and go ahead and hit clear. And say we had this running, and we fire this playback, we want that to stop. See that our Mask FX stops. When we turn it off, it continues on again. Mask FX can also be done on a per fixture type. So say we wanted to have a Mask FX that just stopped our beam 150s. So we do is go ahead and select our beam 150s, and then go Shapes and Effects, Mask FX, and we'll do one that specifically does our position attributes on that, and we'll go ahead and record it to here. So now say we had this playback and this playback running. We see we've got a shape running on our beam 150s on the back wall. If I fire this playback, we see that shape stops running, but the shape on our BMFLs continues to run. We turn this playback off, and our BMFLs continue to run again. So that's Mask FX, new for version 14. I hope you learned something. Please subscribe and join us next time. Thanks. Bye.
Wheel stop.
Roger, wheel stop, Discovery. Welcome back. A great ending to the new beginning.